Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another devlog for Batman Arkham Breakout. This is my Batman Arkham visual novel fan game. If you guys did not watch the last few videos, this is going to be taking place in between Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Things I have added this time around is a combat system. I fixed a lot of the different gadgets, added 3 new skins, and add boss fights, and right now it's kind of open right now on how I implement those, but once you see it, it'll make more sense. So if you didn't see the shorts, we added Man and Wheelchair Batman. These are going to be very hard skins to unlock because only the die-hard Arkham fans are going to need to unlock these for any specific reason. But the other main skin that I added was Batman 1 million. And once I added Batman 1 million, we had the full 14 that I had planned out, which started to kind of get in the way, especially with characters like Immortal Legend Batman. This was like 10% bigger than this, and so it was kind of getting into the sprite. So kind of shrunk it down and then added a scrolling feature, so that way we could add an infinite amount of skins if we want to, which would be better. So for this, I'll just add, or I'll just play as Batman 1 million, just because I really loved using this skin in Arkham Origins, and I just really love this skin. I love how it turned out. I had to do a lot of work on the bat emblem here and the mask, and I kind of don't like the mask too. I think the mask needs to come down to the nose more. I think that's more what it looks like in the actual comic book, but we'll see if I have time for that. This works for now. As a one-man army on this, it has been quite the task to tackle. There's been a lot of work going into this. So last time we had 2 open spaces. We had a space here and a space here. So I added mini games, and then during mini games I started adding the combat to the game, because how do you add combat into a visual novel? You know, characters are usually talking to each other in a visual novel. It's not very, you know, action oriented. So I thought the best way to do this would be through a rhythm-based game. And another question I kept getting is how is Nightwing and Robin and Batgirl, like, how do these characters play into the game, and will we be able to play as these characters? And previously, I didn't know how to make characters like this playable. How do you make a character like Catwoman playable unless it's just in the story mode? So the way I'm kind of doing that is through the combat system, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's just go hard. I'm going to go hard mode because I have been developing this, so I kind of know how to play the game really well. So this opens, you know, a character selection screen now, and if we click Batman, it is just our Batman skin. It just doesn't show the specific Batman skin that we have selected. And I'll maybe add skins for these extra characters, but this is such a side part of the game that it's not my main focus. This is something that would be like after release, is that I would add Nightwing skins and Robin skins and stuff like that. We'll see, because it's a lot of work to do multiple skins for all these different characters. The only reason I have extra skins for Batman is because he is the primary focus of the game. So how do we play as these different characters? Well, let's just start with Batman and kind of show you what I mean. So this will load up a rhythm-based fighting game that isn't necessarily actually rhythm, as it's more just trying to hit the up, down, left, right icons that I made. And as you could see right there, once we reached a certain number of, once we got the bar all the way to the right, it'll swap our thug for a new thug. And there's different thugs in this training because they kind of play into the story, so I'm kind of working on how I'm going to do that. So you can see if I miss hits, the thug is hitting me, and my bar is sliding more to the left as if I am going to die, and once it gets so far, it starts turning red. And as I make a comeback, the bar will turn green and in my favor. And once that bar, you know, completes, it will diminish the thug. And so another part of this that was really hard is, you know, getting consistent characters created that, you know, when you punch them, they do this little effect where they kind of drop what they're doing and they're kind of stunned, which was a lot of fun to make. And it does this little white flash, and it has like a little punch animation that I made. And as you could see, that's just the end of the simulation. It does count how many hits you got and how many enemies you took down, which is really cool. But if we go into the combat, let's play as a different character this time. Let's play as Nightwing. So if you saw, when I got streaks of 10, every time I got a streak of 10 notes in a row, Batman was throwing a Batarang. But if we play as Nightwing, he wouldn't throw a Batarang because he's not Batman. Sorry, my mouth is really dry. Batman throws Batarangs. Nightwing throws something else. So let's see what happens when I get 10 in a row versus this thug. Oh, and he throws his stick. I can't remember. It's like a charisma or something like that. Some crazy word. I don't think that's actually right. But once we get 10, he throws his stick. How cool is that? And if we just go back, if we play as Robin, which is really cool. Robin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and boom. He throws a little like R star. That I prefer more than like a Batarang. I don't really like the Batarangs. I think it's cooler when he throws the R like he does in Titans, which is not technically accurate to the game, but it's my game. I don't really care. At the end of the day, like I've said on multiple occasions, this game is for educational purposes. This game is so that way I know how to code Python and RenPy for future games that I am creating. This is not going to be for sale and all that good stuff. This is going to be a free game. And if Warner Bros. Sends a letter, guess what? I'm going to still make the game. I'm just not going to release it. It's just going to be a private game because that is what it initially was for. The only reason I'm sharing my stuff on YouTube is so that way other people can get inspiration and kind of see the behind the scenes type stuff for a development game like this. So what happens if we do Arkham Knight here as a playable character? Let's do 10 in a row here. And he just shoots them. I need to make conditions for Arkham Knight specifically that when he shoots, you know, when he gets a streak of 10, that's when it should be switching the character, not when the bar is full. It should be, you know, when the bullet hits them, because that would make the most sense. But either way, you know, the combat system, I think it's really come along well. I really like the icons. You can easily identify which is which is really nice. It maybe takes up too much of the screen, but I don't think it's too bad. I might make the bars a little different, more sleek and fancy, and I want to add a streak, like a score streak on the side instead of just that hits counter at the top. That's just your total hits. I want to have like a Guitar Hero type thing that shows your streak. I also need ideas for what other animations I could play after a certain, you know, streak. And if you guys are curious, Catwoman, when she gets a streak, she'll throw her caltrops. I think that's how you say it. I don't know how to say it. It's like caltrops maybe. Let's see here. Yeah, very simple. It's just like a little black spiky, few spiky things. No big deal. So after I started doing that, then I was like, okay, this is really cool. This is going to be good for, you know, interrogation and you know, doing little fun mini games in the middle of dialogue and stuff like that to keep things interesting in the game. But what happens when we get to a boss? So specifically, you know, I started with Deathstroke, which was fun. Let's do Nightwing versus Deathstroke. That'd be fun. Now you will see that Deathstroke has a health bar, and you will see he kind of blocks your hits a little bit, which is really cool. Instead of like fainting like the thugs, he blocks your hits, and I think I'm going to add different animations just to keep it fresh. But, you know, the player is going to be more focused on the game aspect of it than the animations. And Deathstroke actually does a lot more damage than the thugs. If you'll see, when I miss notes, he does way more damage, and it's a lot harder to get that bar back up. I need to refocus, which is really fun. And you'll see that his health bar is consistently going down. And that just, like, it makes it feel so much like a boss battle, which is just so much fun. And I'll show you some other bosses here in a minute. And so, you know, when we win, there's nothing crazy that happens right now. This is just the combat system right now. So this isn't a specific scene, but it will be really freaking cool once it's all complete. And I'm very happy with how it's turning out. So let's look at some other bosses. Like Joker, I just did for fun. Let's do Batman versus Joker, because Batman, you know, Joker, the only time he's really going to appear in this game is through, like, visions, I believe is what I'm planning. And Bruce realizing that Batman is in his mind, because, you know, from Arkham City to Arkham Knight, you know, that's kind of something that is left to dialogue and not something that is really shown. You know, him building the prisons for the other Joker people and himself, that's something that's more dialogue based, or in, like, the comics or something like that. So let's just finish off Joker here. If you guys have any, like I said, if you guys have any other ideas for different animations I could do, once you get, like, a streak, other than the Batarang, I would love to hear it. I tried doing, like, a bat claw thing, but it doesn't really make sense, because where would I be pulling him to? You know, pull him closer to Batman or something? I don't know. But we'll figure it out. It'll be cool. Let's do the Killer Moth one. This one's really cool. Let's do Robin versus Killer Moth. Killer Moth is also not in the Arkham games, so I kind of had to take some liberties with the design. I think he looks kind of cute, though. He's a little cute little bug dude, but, and you know, the mapping for the actual button inputs is something that I can edit really easily, which is cool. So I can make things really fast, like this part, and, you know, take breaks in between, which is really nice. I thought about mapping to the actual song, because you can, you know, the reason that I don't know if I said it either, but this was also something that was open source online, except it was more for music, not really like a combat system like this. It was more so like a Guitar Hero-esque thing. But yeah, it looks really good. I had to do a lot of editing to the code to make it look like this, but I really appreciate whoever open sourced that. Was very, very kind. And lastly, someone we have not shown yet, actually. We have not shown Black Mask, so here's a Black Mask first look. Let's do Batgirl versus Black Mask. We have not shown Black Mask yet. I gave him so much. Oh my god! I don't know what I was thinking with this map. I need to, as you can see, this one's a little extreme. And you can, you know, you could just button mash and kind of just hit all the things, but, you know, you can do that on Arkham too, but it's not as fun that way, you know. Oh no! No, I don't know if I can pull this out, guys. Pause. I don't know if we're gonna yeah, I did not beat Black Mask, I don't think. But that is okay. I don't know if I showed this either last time, a little character viewer for all the different characters in the game. I can't remember if I showed this or not, but here it is just in case I did not. I think I did, because we showed Poison Ivy and stuff like that, but very fun stuff, very fun stuff. So that's kind of like a look at the combat in this game. I still need to add more spice, but oh my gosh, I've added so much to that combat. This system has alone taken like 2 whole days of work. More like 3. It's honestly been more like 3 to 4, because I had to create like the assets for it and learn how to do like the number mapping and getting the audio and stuff, like, and making the emotions of them like blocking their stuff, which is, it adds a lot. It does add a lot to the actual gameplay, which I like. Another thing that's been updated is the Batcave now has a garage or a hangar that's going to have all the different vehicles. So we got like the Batwing here. We got the Bat Boat. This is also not, you know, I kind of tried to make the dialogue feel a little fun too. Like when the Bat Boat, you know, when you look at that, he says, I haven't gotten to use this in a while. Because you never do in the Arkham series. Let's hope Croc doesn't attack the harbor. Alfred says, God forbid you have to do anything in the sewers again. Oh, it's a little reference towards the Riddler and stuff like that, which is fun. The Bat Cycle or the Bat Pod, whichever one you would, however you want to call it. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. What else we got here? Oh, the, like, the one hell of a machine. Only the Justice League missions require this much defense. I'm trying to remember what they call it, like the Nightcrawler. I think that's what they call that. In the Justice League. So yeah, very, very simple. I'll probably spice that up a bit too. And stuff like that. But yeah, the Batcave is coming around so great. And the reason I've spent so much time on the Batcave is because, you know, this is going to be like your main HUD of, you know, what to do. You will be able to explore Gotham and stuff like that, but I'm not going to make, you know, I'll probably like make like certain things more explorable. Like the GCPD will be somewhat explorable. The Batcave will be fully explorable, but things like Ace Chemicals and Blackgate will be somewhat explorable, but not to this extent. Nothing will be quite to this extent. You'll be able to like interact with prisoners or, you know, GCPD officers and stuff like that. Fun stuff like that. But this is stuff that, you know, I'm still in the core phase of this game of making sure, you know, to do things in Blackgate, you know, to fight thugs in a prison riot in Blackgate, we have to have the combat system first. We have to get that done first. And to do things with the batarangs and with their gadgets, with the batarang and the explosive gel and the cryptographic sequencer, I have to do those before I can actually do the missions for them, which is really fun. If you guys want to see how far we are in the game, I can do that. If you guys don't want spoilers, this will probably be the last thing I talk about, so you could skip to the end or something. But yeah, I think we talked to Blackgate Guard and we went to the GCPD. GCPD looks really cool. I really like the song that is playing in the back of the GCPD. Very, very fun. Very chill, noir vibes. Let's see here. We'll finish the puzzle. We'll exit. And then, so it's like, so what do you do now? Well, you go to your inventory, and now the inventory has the burned note. So if you click it, you know, they have a conversation now, because, you know, what do you do now? You check out the note. So they'll have a conversation about the note, kind of talking about what it is, you know, investigate the note. What is it saying? And you can come up with your own theories, but once you exit, they will have a conversation of the note, talking about what each line means. The Faceless being, you know, Two-Face, the Bird Calls Blindly, the Penguin, Supply the Fear, talking about Scarecrow, Burning the City, talking about Azrael, Where Is He, the Riddler, all that stuff. Fun stuff. Call me Gotham's Foundation, because this note was left for somebody. So Gotham's Foundation was founded. Gotham was founded in 1635. You know, they're probably expecting a call. Should we call them first? Let's call 1635. This is very secretive. Ooh, I wasn't expecting a call so soon. Hold on, 1635. Wasn't expecting a call so soon. Shall I proceed with our plan? Continue our halt for now. What do we do? Well, that's going to be like next time or something like that. But very fun stuff. Very fun stuff. Love how it's coming along so far. I love this Red Death skin, dude. It just looks so freaking cool. And I just love that now I can play as the different characters. You know, I can play as Nightwing and fight Killer Moth. It's just very, very fun. And I think I'm gonna do, like, you know, I'm just trying to find ways to spice this up a little bit. It is, you know, it's not horrible. You know, there's breathing animations, which is fun, and like the little shake animations and the batarangs and stuff like that. I don't think it's bad by any means. I think this is the coolest thing that I've probably made in this game, because it actually feels like a game and less like a story. But I still know that there's potential to make this even cooler. So if you guys have any ideas on how to do that, let me know down below. But other than that, guys, that is kind of all I have for this update. It's been a lot of progress, a lot of behind the scenes work to get this rhythm-based game working. But it's been so rewarding. I just love how it's turned out. I also hate this icon. I made this icon very fast, and I just don't like it. I think I'll change it to something else. Because training also isn't just going to have combat. The training is going to have, you know, some of the Predator type stuff. And yes, there will be, I have plans for the Predator type stuff. That's going to be more like the, let's see here. How can I... Let me go back to main menu here. For the Predator stuff, that is going to be more like using the Batarang to stop a thug or something like that. Let's pretend there's a thug there. I changed the name in the file, so I need to change that back. Let's pretend that there's a thug with his back turned or something like that. We knock him out. We knock him out, and then he, you know, now the thug's knocked out, yada, yada, yada. So this will kind of be like more the Predator stuff. And stuff like that. There's going to be more puzzles and stuff like that. But as for the combat, I am so happy with how the combat has turned out so far. I think it's just so much fun. There's going to be quick time events. Like after you beat one bar of Deathstroke, you know, he learns how you fight. So maybe this time you have to, I'm thinking of adding like quick time events where things pop up and you maybe have to spell a word or push different letters or something like that, you know. Stuff like that, which will be really fun. Just quick time event stuff. How's the Riddler involved in this story? How's Harley Quinn involved in this story? We haven't even talked about Riddler and Harley Quinn that much. Barely Scarecrow too. So there's a lot of moving parts in this game. So I don't know if I wonder if most game devs make their games like this, where it's a lot more open and fluid. Where, like, I've worked on things that are later in the game, and I've also worked on things that are right away in the game. Or if most game devs, you know, they start with Chapter 1, the basics, then they go to Chapter 2, then they go to Chapter 3. I don't know. I say I'm not a game dev. Well, I'm kind of not a game dev, but, like, I'm starting to become a game dev in a way. You kind of are whatever you label yourself as, honestly, like, in reality. But yeah, God, Wheelchair Batman is so stupid. It's so stupid. But somebody was like, please add man, and I was like, I guess whatever. It'd be easy. It's easy to add. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a long video. So if you guys stayed this long, I appreciate it. Another question for you guys: do you think should I start a Patreon for the people who actually deeply care about this project? I'm not really sure, because I'm not going to charge for the game, and I have no expectation to make money from this. I have the expectation to learn from making this game. That's what I am expecting. But I know that there's some people who really want to, you know, get more info on this project, and maybe I could share more in-depth stuff that YouTube audiences wouldn't really care about. I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think? Should I add a Patreon? I don't know. If I did make a Patreon, it would be hella cheap. It'd probably be like $1 a month to $3 a month. It would not be crazy because I wouldn't be adding a ton of stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. I don't know. But I just love how this game is coming along so far. I just love jumping into this combat mode, going on, you know, hard mode. I just love jumping in and just fighting some thugs, because that's what I love doing on regular Arkham City and Arkham Knight. I love just jumping into that game and just fighting some people. It's fun. But I could see this getting a little old, so I think I need to add something that could be different. Maybe I should add like a bar. Like, you know how like you see how these arrow keys are different tilted squares, like diamonds? Maybe I could add a bar where you have to hit the space bar, or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe you can save up your streak, and then your space bar unleashes like the Batarang, or the grappling hook, or a freeze grenade. A freeze grenade would be sick. Maybe I should add that. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff. I don't know. I'm just very excited for this game. It's been a lot of fun making it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Long video. Sorry. Subscribe. Yeah. See you guys later.